I'm the manager for dwpcorruption.co.uk, the independent watchdog for the Department for Works and Pensions. And this is the continuation and the fourth video of its kind, and gladly may I say the last in this subject of video nasties concerning the government, Tony Blair, Gordon Brown, the corrupt Anne Abrahams, and all our corrupt MPs that have been mentioned throughout the videos that we've been doing. Um, it doesn't need any understanding that the corruption and the collusion in government is being sheltered by our MPs. There's a smoke screen there. Speaking to Roy again today, we've found that the collusion and the corruption is broad spectrum within government, through the councils, through everybody concerned with common purpose, the Fabian Society, who are nothing more than a socialist party. Roy, just on winding up, and where we go from here, we've talked about the corrupt courts, we've talked about the corrupt system and intentions of showing the government up by exposing this corruption and standing outside the courts and creating our own media, and the work for that's going on at this moment in time undercover with other people like ourselves, so that we can come together as one. Where you're concerned, the corruption that you described again today with Tony Wright MP and the elections that are going to be coming up, the public should be aware of this cretin's intentions and the money that is made in a corrupt manner, throughout the people within his constituency. The same as Ian Pearson, he's got no backbone. The bloke's proven to be corrupt in many cases, including my own. You've got then Mike O'Brien, which is a related case to something similar to yourself, where there's been property concerned and money laundering and stuff like that. And the list can go on and on and on. Just on winding up where the Ombudsman's concerned and your own case, what are you hoping now you're going to be able to do from here on? And what do you expect to achieve, mate?
The idea now is that, as I say, I'm a patient person and I've waited a long time. I've sent letter after letter after letter, simply because every time they answer, they give you a bit more ammunition to use against them. We've proven without any doubt there's corruption, there's conspiracy, right the way through. There is no point going to any ombudsman, because every one of them are not independent. They're run by Blair, by Brown, for Blair, and for Blair.
So, can I interrupt you there a second? Because I think it's an important issue that we point this out to members of the public in everybody's constituency. The Ombudsman is not an independent. You just heard Roy say that. We know that the Information Commissioner, where the Data Protection Act is concerned, we know that they're government run, and that's totally corrupt throughout. We know the police are corrupt. We know that the IPCC are corrupt, the Independent Police Complaints Commission. We've got two proven cases of corruption and collusion just with Roy's case alone. I personally have got cases coming onto DWP that I'm still sorting out that highlights corruption in council. Where the public's concerned, what sort of attitude and approach do you think they should have towards this, Roy? Because, at the end of the day, where you're concerned with get snouts out the trough party, and obviously where Europe's concerned, and you're concerned for the corruption within the West Midlands and Staffordshire alone, what sort of insight should the public have, and where does this leave you? What about the voters out there for you, mate?
What they should remember is that if, like me, you upset the establishment, I've been shot at twice, I've had an attempted abduction on my daughter when she was 14, I've got DC Green on tape trying to get my son to buy drugs for him when my son was 15 years old. These are just the tactics they will use against you to shut you up. They will follow you, they will abuse you, they will do anything they can to shut you up. And I'll go back to a quote that was given to me about British Leyland. British Leyland knew that out of every 100 complaints, only one would be a sticker. I'm your sticker, Brown. I'm still coming after you. And it's your money, the public, that these people are stealing. And there's no other word for it. It is stealing. In 1999, the Deloitte and Touche were commissioned to hold an investigation into the black economy. Michael Bridges, who did the investigation, found £100 billion a year being lost in the black economy. Have any of you ever seen anything about that since? No, because it affects Blair and it affects Brown and it affects their muckers. And when we're saying, or when I'm saying about these companies, and I would state now what Don Green said, I would find that the ICI would have dual false shipping invoices for avoiding tax. That's on tape. That was transcribed by West Midlands Police and it's been transcribed by West Midlands Customs. This goes on. It's your bloody money. It's not. We're not talking £10. We're talking billions and billions of pounds every single year.
So obviously, you know, we've tried to highlight today that the public should have concern. They should start to consider who they're voting for. You know, at the end of the day, and I think Roy will agree with me on this, the Conservative Party, the Liberals, Labour, it's a lost vote. You've got no choice but to vote for people like the BNP. And it might not be your choice, it might not be the right choice, but at least we know where common purpose is concerned, the Fabian Society, the Socialists, you know, where Labour's concerned, it's a no-go because they're not going to be in this time next year. They're going to be out, and as we've said, hopefully Gordon Brown, Tony Blair will be behind bars, and all the corrupt establishments that are part of Gordon Brown's setup here. So, you know, before we go, what I want to do is make some recommendations that you check out one or two sites. And first of all, I would check out Brian Gerrish, who's got an anti-corruption site there, who's the founder of Common Purpose. I would also check out Stop Common Purpose, I think it's .com, and also PTUC, which is another excellent site who can give advice and who's heavily into this government corruption. And alongside that, you know, keep an eye on dwpcorruption.co.uk, which we've got interesting stuff coming on board. I'm really pleased, and it's been a pleasure to have worked with Roy and to have been able to have done these videos with him. As you can see, we're black country people, we're ordinary people, and our art is with the public. Our sites are put together by ourselves, but they're put together for the people. We don't make any money out of this. We don't take any donations for what we do unless they're given. You know, what I'm saying there is there's no money-making scheme. We do it for you, the general public. So at that, Roy, I'm going to ask you to say good night.
Good night, everybody.
And we'll close at that. Keep your eyes pierced.